Hey everyone, just before we get into the video, we just want to give you a quick warning that there are some clips with some flickering or flashing lights in this video. There was a weird interaction between the camera and the lights in the shop and led to some weird flickeriness. I've done the best I could in post to remove it, but there is still a little bit. So anytime that is going to show up, you will see a disclaimer that looks like this at the bottom of the screen just before it does, so you have a heads up. We just want to be careful, make sure you're staying safe in case you're sensitive to that sort of thing. So hopefully that helps, and enjoy the video.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna do like that here. See a little repo, guys. Let's do this. Hey guys, it's Asher from Asher Warrior Props, and today we're gonna build the Crest shield from the Dark Souls trilogy. And one thing about this that's going to be really cool is the Crest shield is actually the same exact shape as several other shields in the game, and I've gone ahead and traced the other ones. So before we get into the build, if you want to head over to my website with the link in the description, you can go over and pick up this free template. The free template will also include a file for the other versions of this template that are similar to it. 100% for free. It will include a DXF file for in case you have a laser, or it will have just the regular PDF. To print this, because it's a larger prop, you're going to take it over to Adobe Acrobat, take it to poster mode, and print. Hold on. Liquid Death Break. I'm gonna face logo to the camera. I'm not sponsored by Liquid Death,
although I wish I was.
So for this build, we're going to be using SKS Props HD foam. Throughout the video, you will see a color change on my build. I'm actually when I was recording this, I was doing two at a time. So one was using HD foam, and the other was using scrap foam that I had. It's a scrap orthotic foam. So for this, you're going to need at least a roll of 10mm HD foam, a roll of 6, and a roll of 2. It's a relatively cheap build. I will be using a laser in this video. I'm also going to show you how to do this without a laser or a Cricut, but it is very doable and relatively simple, just time consuming to do by hand, and I will show you guys how to do that as well. So let's get into the build. This build is not a difficult build. It's kind of a tedious one, but on a difficulty scale, if I was gonna rank it from Pinwheel to Manus, I would put it at Gaping Dragon. It's not difficult, it's just kind of tedious, especially if we don't have a laser. Again, I keep saying you don't need a laser, and I just won't show. For starters, here is the full-scale template. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and trace it onto some 10mm HD foam. Once it's traced out, we're then going to cut out the base shape and cut out the 10mm HD foam. We are going to find our center line. The center line of the shield can be marked super easy. Just find a straight edge, draw straight down. I'm then going to cut a small channel, and I'm going to use a 3mm carbon fiber rod. I'm just going to embed this into this little channel I made right here, and this is going to give some center rigidity here. Have your center rod placed, we are then going to create a form base. I could not think of what I wanted to say there. A form base in this regard is what we're going to do is we are going to take the overall shield template, trace it onto a sheet of 6mm or 4mm HD foam, and we are going to then take a set of calipers or a compass, and we're going to trace the shield 6 to 8mm skinnier than the original shape. And the reason we do this is so that the shorter on the sides, it will naturally want to pull the 10mm foam in since the 6 is shorter. I hope that makes sense. Once we've got that, we're then going to use contact cement, and we're going to slather it on both your 10mm base and your 6mm form. Once again, for the 6mm form, you only need to skinny up the sides, not the top and the bottom, and you'll see why here in a minute. Once the contact cement is ready, we can then lay our 10 onto our 6. My wife happened to be doing laundry as I was doing this, so she came over and helped me. It is a tremendous help to have a second pair of hands on a larger prop like this. So we're going to line up the top and the bottom. The top and the bottom of the shield can be exactly 1-to-1 to the 10mm base. However, the sides need to be brought up to the 6. So your smaller piece of foam needs to be held up, and the larger piece of foam needs to be brought up to it, matching the sides going all the way down. Once the sides are met, then you can kind of lay it out and smooth it and attach everything. Once that is done, we're then going to do this trim that goes along the outside of the shield. Now, the trim I did here was 6mm HD foam. You can do 4 as well. For this, what I ended up doing was cutting some 10mm thick strips of 6mm HD foam. Rather than creating that outside shape and then trying to trace that, cut that, and then glue it, I just created some 10mm thick, 6mm, 10mm wide, 6mm thick HD foam strips, and then glued them to the edge like so. You're going to do that to the front and the back. Once the ones on the back are placed, I'm then going to take some more 3mm carbon fiber rods. I cut them to size, I bent them into the shape of the trim, and then used Starbond CA glue to tack those carbon fiber rods to the brim of the shield like you see in these clips. And this is going to make it incredibly rigid. Once those carbon fiber rods are there,
Hey, it's me again. Yeah, there's text on the screen that Liam baked into the clip, so I can't remove it. Basically, all you're going to do here is you're going to get some 2mm strips about the width of the shield, and you're going to glue it on with contact cement, trim that up, give it a bit of a Dremel to clean up that, and you've got a beautiful, seamless look.
now, when I use my laser, what I like to do is similar to what I do when I cut this out by hand. I like to spritz my mat with a light pass of some Super 77 spray adhesive. Then I lay my 2mm foam down, and then I set my laser on top of it and I upload the file. Now, when I did this, I did separate them. I don't have a massive laser, so I separated each section of details to fit my laser, and then I just placed them on after. I'm going to show you real quick how to do that exact same thing by hand. We're going to copy paste that method. We're literally going to spritz our mat with some Super 77 spray glue. Don't do the foam and the mat, just do the mat. Lay your foam on there, trace your details, cut it out, and regardless of whether you use laser or your hands, we're then going to lay some clear packing tape is what I ended up using. They have transfer tape. I just didn't feel like going to buy it. I had packing tape. Lay your clear tape over the details, turn it over, and peel out the excess. By the excess, I mean like the parts that are not the details. Do that. Now, to make sure I got my spacing even on this, I ended up laying all of my cut out laser details onto my paper template, like so, and taping them all together to create one big section of details. I did this again because it's easier to mark a top and a bottom area and then lay it on here rather than try to put this one on, that, you get it. So now to put on the details, we're going to use another spray glue. We're going to actually use Super 90, I think is what it's called. It's the green can. You're going to spritz both the shield and the back side of the details. It's okay if it gets on the masking tape because when we apply this, we're going to be gentle. Once the Super 90 is ready for your details to be placed, you're going to lay them out on the shield. Once again, because this is so big, it is a lot easier to do this with 2 people. Oh, my wife happened to be moving the laundry this time when I was doing the details. So once your details are on there, it is very clear and easy to see what this is trying to do. On to the handhold. We're going to turn the shield over. In the game, the reference for the backside of the shield changes in all 3 games, and all of the statues are somewhat different. I opted to kind of go for the first 4 figures in Gecko statue style of handle, where it's more rectangular. So the best way to do this is I'm going to take a piece of 10mm HD foam, and I'm going to cut a rectangle that is roughly a little bit shorter than my forearm and just a little bit wider than the midsection of the shield. So once you've cut your rectangle, we're going to attach it with, once again, contact cement like so. Now, because we're doing a bar grip, there are a couple of different ways we could have done this. I could have done a piece of aluminum, I could have done plastic, I could have done whatever. But instead, I opted to, I took some black Warbler and I cut a 6mm thick piece of HD foam, roughly the shape of the rectangle that I wanted, and I took some black Warbler, heated the Warbler, laid it over the foam, kind of pushed it in to sculpt exactly the rectangle shape. Once that was done, I then made my U shape that is going to be the inside of the bar grip should be the width of the outside of the little rectangle that's glued onto the base of the shield. Now, after that, the shield is pretty much done. I mean, like I said, this is not a difficult build. This is time consuming if you don't have the right tools. You can go in and add damage. I also went in and I lightly rounded off the edges of the build just to kind of give it that added like realism of like, oh, it should be a beat up, worn down shield. Once again, can't stress enough, this is a super simple build, especially if you're a beginner that wants something that is highly detailed, that'll look really nice on the wall or add something to your cosplay. I heavily encourage you to try this out. Here's some videos, or maybe the videos are go, yeah, of what they did or do. Here's what it looked like. Thanks for watching. It's been, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about how long it's been because no time has passed. Everything's going good. I'm doing my best, I say this every time, to come back with a video schedule. I have been busy. If you can't see from behind me, and this is all stuff that's being shipped out. Behind the camera is a shelf full of molded and casted props that I have been doing a lot of lately. I have about 15 molded and casted Helldiver helmets back there. I have full armor. I've got Faram and everything behind the camera. I literally built this using my foam template, and then after I made my foam one, I molded and casted it because I'm completely 100% insane. So I have been incredibly busy over the last little bit, but I am doing my best, even if it's done with my phone, to record what I'm doing. Because I want to make it, I do want to keep doing this, and I really do enjoy sharing this stuff with you guys, and I like building, of course, obviously. I have literally already started recording the painting tutorial for this, so I will do my best to get that out ASAP. Oh yeah, my awesome travel visit scenic Majula shirts. That's backwards. That is with the link in the description for the bonfire is what the website. But yeah, you can get some cool, my wife designed these and they're awesome and I really like them. I think that's about it. If there's something you want to see, comment, tell me what you want to see. Yeah, I think that should be it. I feel like that went by a lot faster than I remember this being. Toodles.